Think of a name that signifies pure, unadulterated power. In the pantheon of ancient myths, one figure stands as the ultimate bridge between the divine and the terrestrial, a hero whose name has become a synonym for strength itself, Hercules. Known to the Greeks as Heracles, his story is not just a collection of monster hunts and feats of brawn. It is a deeply human epic of tragedy, redemption, and the agonizing struggle against a fate orchestrated by the gods. Today, we are going to explore the life of the most famous demigod in history, from his miraculous birth to his agonizing death, and uncover the symbolic meaning behind the 12 labors that defined his legend. This is the story of a man who was born to be a king but was forced to become a servant, eventually climbing his way to the stars. The origins of Hercules begin with a celestial deception. Zeus, the king of the gods, looked down from Mount Olympus and became infatuated with Alcmene, a mortal woman of great beauty and wisdom. To win her, Zeus disguised himself as her husband, Amphitryon, and in the union that followed, Hercules was conceived. But Zeus, in his pride, made a public boast. He declared that a descendant of Perseus born that very day would rule over all the lands of Greece. Hera, the queen of the gods and the wife of Zeus, was consumed by a cold and calculated jealousy. She knew of the affair and decided to strike back. She used her divine influence to delay the birth of Hercules while accelerating the birth of another descendant of Perseus, a weak and cowardly cousin named Eurystheus. Thus, by the time Hercules entered the world, his divine birthright had been stolen. He was destined to be a subject, while Eurystheus was destined to be a king. Even as an infant, Hercules showed that he was no ordinary mortal. Hera sent 2 deadly serpents into his cradle to destroy him, but instead of screaming in fear, the baby Hercules grabbed the snakes and strangled them with his bare hands. This was the first glimpse of a strength that would eventually hold up the sky itself. His name, Heracles, which literally means glory of Hera, was a dark irony. His entire life would be a series of trials meant to appease the goddess who hated him most. As he grew, he was trained by the greatest masters of the age. He learned wrestling, archery, and music, though his temper was as legendary as his strength. In a fit of rage, he accidentally killed his music teacher with a lyre, a sign of the uncontrollable power that would often be his greatest curse. The turning point of his life was a moment of absolute horror. Hercules had married a princess named Megara and fathered several children. He was at the height of his happiness when Hera struck again. She clouded his mind with a supernatural madness, causing him to believe that his own wife and children were enemies. In a blind, bloodthirsty frenzy, Hercules killed them all. When the madness lifted and he realized what he had done, he was shattered. He sought out the oracle of Delphi to find a way to cleanse the blood from his hands. The oracle told him that to find peace, he must serve his cousin, King Eurystheus, for 12 years and perform whatever tasks were demanded of him. If he succeeded, he would be granted immortality. This set the stage for the 12 labors, a sequence of tasks that were designed to be impossible. The first was the Nemean lion, a beast with a hide so thick that no weapon made of bronze or iron could pierce it. Hercules realized that he could not win with tools, so he used his raw strength to wrestle the lion and choke it to death. He then used the lion's own claws to skin it, wearing the pelt as a cloak that would become his most famous trademark. The second labor was the Lernaean Hydra, a multi-headed serpent that grew 2 new heads for every one that was cut off. With the help of his nephew Iolaus, Hercules learned to cauterize the stumps with fire, preventing the heads from regrowing. This labor showed that Hercules was not just a brute, but a tactical thinker who could adapt to magical threats. The labors continued, each more bizarre than the last. He had to capture the Lernaean hind, a deer so fast it could outrun an arrow, and the Erymanthian boar. He was sent to clean the Augean Stables, which had not been washed in 30 years and housed thousands of cattle. Instead of using a shovel, Hercules diverted 2 entire rivers to flush out the filth in a single day, proving his mastery over the natural world. He traveled to the ends of the earth to fetch the golden apples of the Hesperides and even descended into the underworld to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed hound that guarded the gates of the dead. These tasks were not just physical, they were symbolic journeys into the unknown, representing the human struggle to master nature, death, and the self. One of the most interesting facts about the labors is that Eurystheus originally tried to disqualify 2 of them. He claimed the Hydra didn't count because Hercules had help, and the Augean Stables didn't count because he was paid by the rivers. This is why a hero who was supposed to perform 10 labors ended up performing 12. Throughout these years, Hercules also participated in other great adventures. He sailed with Jason and the Argonauts in search of the Golden Fleece, and he rescued Prometheus, the Titan who had been chained to a mountain for giving fire to humanity. These stories show Hercules as a universal protector, a figure who intervened whenever the balance of the world was threatened by monsters or tyranny. However, the shadow of Hera's curse never truly left him. His personal life continued to be a cycle of violence and fleeting peace. He eventually married a woman named Deianira, but their love story ended in a tragedy that even his strength could not stop. During a journey, they encountered a centaur named Nessus who tried to kidnap Deianira. Hercules shot the centaur with an arrow dipped in the poisonous blood of the Hydra. As Nessus lay dying, he lied to Deianira, telling her that his blood was a powerful love potion that would keep Hercules faithful forever. Years later, fearing that Hercules was falling in love with another woman, Deianira soaked a shirt in the centaur's blood and gave it to her husband. The shirt was not a potion, but a corrosive poison. As soon as the fabric touched his skin, it began to burn him with an agonizing, inextinguishable fire. The poison of the Hydra, which Hercules had used to kill so many monsters, was now killing him. In his final moments, unable to endure the pain and unable to die like a normal man, Hercules climbed Mount Ida and built a massive funeral pyre. He laid down on the wood and asked for the fire to be lit. As the flames consumed his mortal half, the divine part of him, inherited from Zeus, ascended to Mount Olympus in a chariot of fire. The legacy of Hercules is far more than just a series of ancient poems. He represents the laboring hero, the idea that through hard work, suffering, and the endurance of impossible odds, a human being can achieve greatness. The transition from the Greek Heracles to the Roman Hercules saw him move from a tragic, flawed figure to a symbol of stoic virtue and the ideal protector of the state. He is the original template for the modern superhero. When we watch movies about men with capes and superhuman strength, we are seeing the modern echoes of a story that was told around campfires 3,000 years ago. In our own lives, we all face our own labors. They may not involve lions or multi-headed serpents, but they involve the struggle to overcome our mistakes, the fight against unfair circumstances, and the effort to build something lasting. Hercules reminds us that strength is not just about the size of our muscles, but the size of our will to keep going when the gods themselves seem to be against us. He is a reminder that even the most broken person can find a path to redemption if they are willing to do the work. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the myth and reality of Hercules. If this exploration of the glory of Hera and the 12 labors gave you a new perspective on the origin of heroism, please hit the like button. It helps our community of history and mythology enthusiasts grow and ensures that these timeless epics keep reaching a new audience. Which of the 12 labors do you find the most impressive? Was it the brute force of the Nemean lion or the cleverness of the Augean Stables? Let me know in the comments below, as I love hearing your takes on these ancient tales. If you want to keep unlocking the secrets of the past and the stories that shaped our world, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep building your own legacy.